Entonces,
Nice different.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, project you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.
Good evening, everybody. So tonight it's Smackdown. Get ready for live watch along. Should be good. For those of you who don't know, and I will promote it probably a couple times tonight, but later on tonight, Savage will be having an interview after Smackdown is over with Black Dahlia. That will be on a different stream, but I would highly recommend that y'all check it out. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I think that's going to be good. So I'll probably promote that again at some point tonight, but, why beat around the bush. So tonight, Smackdown. Who's ready? Who's ready for Smackdown? We're going to have I think it's a sit down basically with all the members of the Bloodline. I don't think it's an actual match. We're going to have a the Women's Championship match tonight, I believe. The three-way between Santos Escobar, Butch, and LA Knight. Sorry, it took me a minute there, guys. For some reason, that picture, Santos looks more like... For some reason, in that picture, Santos looks more like Mustafa Ali. So, took me a minute. Shotzi versus Bailey and Io Sky. Cameron Grimes versus Baron Corbin. And somehow I got onto Impact. Sorry, guys. But so, a stacked card tonight. Should be really good. Should be a fun match. Right now, it's commercials. We're getting ready for SmackDown to actually start. And if Jay or anyone else jumps in, of course, we'll have more people. But in the meantime, if you got any questions, thoughts, just want to shoot the shit, as they say, and, ask questions. And what do you think of this match? Or what do you think of this performer? Or blah, 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 blah. Feel free to type your things in the comments, and I'll put them up if they're good, which they usually are. And okay, so here we go. Friday Night Smackdown, getting started. It's right, the opening logo, the then, now, forever thing. Which actually, I wasn't a huge fan of this logo thing when it first started, but now it's kind of grown on me. I don't know why. I guess maybe it's just because. So, we are getting a recap of last week when Jey Uso decided that him and Jimmy were out of the Bloodline. But, well, actually what happened was Jimmy said, we're out. We're out of the blood. Or he said, Jay said, I'm at, how did it go? It was something like, Jay was like, Jimmy, you're out of the Bloodline, and so am I. And then he super kicked Roman Reigns in the face. Roman talking about last week's promo, he said that he was only supposed to get them to the promised land. Jey Uso was the one that was supposed to ensure they stayed there. So, tying into the whole Roman saying that Jey was always meant to be the next tribal chief, which I don't believe for a second. I think that was just, more manipulation, more mind games. If any of y'all think it's real, if you really think that the intention all along for the bloodline was to promote Jey Uso up to the rank of being a superstar like Roman Reigns, sound off in the comments. Do y'all agree? Do y'all think that was the purpose, or do you think that the purpose all along was to make Roman look better? I think that the bloodline, I think this whole storyline has been designed for the purpose of, I think it's both. I think it made Roman look a lot better, but I think it also made Jay and Jimmy look better. I think that it showed us what they can do, and that they're not just tag teams, and they can carry down a good story. So, 1 second, guys. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. My camera was being a little weird for a moment, but I think I've got it under control now. So, what do y'all guys, again, sound off in the comments. One who's here. Let's see who's here. Steven Chambers is the first one to sound off in the comments. Hey, Steven, how's it going? So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, see what you guys think. Any picks for Money in the Bank? I really hope they're going to put the Money in the Bank contract in the hands of hold on. We're not fired. I told Savage what was going on. I guess he didn't tell y'all. I was originally going to host last night, and then I contacted him about 1 o'clock, so I guess I figured he'd tell everyone else. But I got really bad sick yesterday. I'm talking like I was in the bathroom probably every 5 to 7 minutes. So I just couldn't do Impact. And so, yeah, sorry about no Impact yesterday, but he did. How did he change the card, Steven? You said Vince changed the card tonight. How did he change it? Thank you. I'm glad I'm excused, because I'm pretty sure y'all didn't want me on camera. Hey, Savage, did you know what Impact? That probably would not have been particularly good looking. But so he did? I didn't remember seeing Charlotte versus Lacey on there. Hey, you know what? On the plus side, if he did in fact change it and he added Charlotte versus Lacey, hey, I ain't gonna complain. You know why I'm not gonna complain? Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about Charlotte Flair or Lacey Evans at this point. Really? LA Knight, they moved him? I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to that. LA Knight versus Mysterio should be a good match. Right now, we're getting music, and the Usos are walking out hand in hand saying, hey, family trumps. Family trumps. I don't even know what they're supposed to mean by that. I think it's Jay just said that family trumps the bloodline, which doesn't make any sense because family is your bloodline. But yeah, so they confirmed at Money in the Bank we will get Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. And I'm willing to bet, I think that's going to end victory Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And the reason I think that is because if you have the Usos win the first match, what's the point of the feud continuing? I think Roman and Roman and Solo Sikoa will beat the Usos, but I think it will be. I think it'll be through dubious means. What about Umaga's son, Steven? I'm confused what you're saying. Because Jimmy, Jay, and Solo are all... Oh, you're saying... Yeah, I heard rumors that... I've been hearing rumors about the whole Umaga's son being in the training center and coming to WWE. I don't think they'll shove him straight into the bloodline, but it might be. The Usos are now in your city. He says the bloodline, and then he goes, no. The Usos are now in your city. Right, Stephen Chambers. He has been. Umaga's son has been wrestling in Booker T's promotion. However, I don't see them throwing him headlong into this feud. They might, but I'm not sure that's a good thing for him. I think that could backfire. Because the thing is, I love WWE, but here's the thing. AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, these are all great companies, but they're not WWE. WWE does a very different way. They're talking about, he says, family is supposed to lift each other up, not tear each other down. That's up to you, Stephen Chambers. If you want to give Rampage spoilers, if the rest of the chat's okay with it, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, Rampage is done. The thing is, they've got Dynamite, they've got Collision, they need to get rid of Rampage. 3 shows is too much. Yes, WWE has 3 shows, but it took them years to get there. AEW, Roman, they're saying for 3 years they carried them. For 3 years, the tribal chief, they carried him. They were in the trenches with him. He told them jump how high, and we were going to jump. You tell us to go low, they were going to go low. He says he'll always love and forgive you, but where you messed up, you disrespected me and my brother. So Stephen Chambers, if you're the only one in the chat, you can spoil Rampage if you want. It ain't going to bother me none. We fell in line. We became the most dominant faction in WWE. That was ran with respect. But once he started to show us the disrespect, that's when they messed up. Really? Huh. I mean, that actually kind of fits for it actually kind of fits. As weird as this is going to sound, because I'm not a huge fan of the QT thing, but I don't think that's a bad fit. I think that might actually be a good idea. Can y'all, Steven, tell me this, because I don't want us to get struck with copyright. Can you hear my PS5, or it's not that loud? Because I don't want to get us slammed with a copyright, and possible if it's up too loud. So if it's loud enough that y'all can hear it like word for word, let me know, because I don't want to get copyright struck. Really? Good that we're not hearing it. actually good with that. I would like to see the match of Tom Lawler and Adam Cole. I think that's an interesting match. Jimmy and Jay basically conclude with their age-old, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. Like they're going back to that gimmick, which is okay. Nothing wrong with going back to a gimmick that worked. Jacking stuff. I am so sorry if I mess this up, but hello, is that Munwar Shah? Did I say that right, or is that? If I got it wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm trying my best. Let's see. Rey Mysterio introduced his brother Santos Escobar, and then LA Knight shoved Rey Mysterio. It was a one-on-one match. LA Knight using Santos Escobar got the win last week, which of course is the wrong decision. You should be pushing you should be pushing what's his name? You should be pushing LA Knight to the absolute moon. Now, admittedly, I like Santos Escobar too, but he ain't LA Knight. LA Knight is getting the kind of pops that took superstars years to get. And he's been on the main roster for not even a full year, I don't think. And he's getting those kind of cheers. I don't get why they're not pushing him better, but maybe he's gonna win Money in the Bank and he'll get to cash in and become a champion. Yes, I agree, Steven Chambers. 100% agree. Escobar is much better as a heel. He was a heel pretty much his entire NXT run. And yes, there may be some people who would say things like, "Oh, well, he wasn't really during that feud with Tony D'Angelo." Actually, that was one of the few rare times we've gotten a classic heel versus heel feud. So Rey Mysterio making his way to the ring for a match against LA Knight, and we're about to go to commercial break. And we're getting something here. Oh, talking about the match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. So I got a question for you guys. What do y'all think of I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Is why it's taking me a minute. Okay, who other than me, if anyone, who watched Collision? Was it just me, or did y'all watch it too? Of course, I say y'all. Pretty much it's Steven Chambers, the only person talking. I'm surprised. I thought Mick, who would be here, but but whatever. But so Steven Chambers, did you watch Collision or no? Okay, so you did. So, gonna ask this. I'm curious. What do you think of the House of Black versus Andrade match? Are you interested in this feud or not really? I actually am, and I'll tell you the reason why. One, I like Malachi Black and I like Andrade, but two, you have to do some research and find things. But okay, so the name Malachi in the Bible, which they misspelled it, by the way. Malachi in the Bible, which is M-A-L-C-H-A-I. That's Malachi, I believe. And his is M-A-L-K-A-I. So close, but not the same thing. But so that name is Hebrew for messenger. Now, what's interesting about this to me is Malachi means messenger in Hebrew. Andrade's theme is literally called Kill the Messenger. So I feel like the seeds for this were planted a long time ago, and maybe we're just now getting it. But I think that it's going to be, yes, Brody versus Andrade tomorrow. I like Brody Lee, but I think that we're going to see him be I think he's going to lose to Andrade. Or that the House of Black is going to get involved. And I think that they're going to go Roosh and somebody else. I can't remember now who else is part of it. But I think they're going to go Roosh and somebody else are going to come and help this. And I think we're going to end up getting eventually a feud of Andrade and his team versus the team of Malachi Black and the House of Black for the trios titles. Now, secondly, yes, that was a nice little nod, I have to admit. I actually enjoyed seeing Andrade doing the figure eight. I thought that was good. I don't want that to become his new main I don't want that to be his new main finisher. I don't want it to be the his new main finisher because I still like the Hammerlock DDT. But I did think that was a good little tongue-in-cheek nod. Actually, that's not a bad idea, Vikingo and Commander. But I do think that whatever team Andrade puts together, I do think Roosh is going to be a part of it because of the whole La Faction Noble. It is, but from everything I've heard, he has said that if Andrade feels comfortable, that he might re-sign another contract. It'll kind of depend on if Andrade signs an extension or if he goes, no, my contract's that and I'm done. But so out comes L.A. Knight. Because everybody say it with me. Whose game is it? It's L.A. Knight's game. Yeah. God, I'm terrible at that. But, you know. They're talking about the fact that there was a shakeup with Logan Paul. God, I hope they do not put the Money in the Bank title. The Money in the Bank briefcase better not go to Logan Paul. If it goes to Logan Paul, I'm going to look and go, that's a Vince booking decision. That is a Vince booking decision. Yes, they can admittedly get something out of it, but I just don't see why. I don't see why they would do that. That seems pointless to me. Like, Logan Paul is not going to be someone who's there on a weekly basis, like LA Knight, Damian Priest, whatever, because he has other obligations. And it's like, to me, to give Money in the Bank to a guy who's not going to be there very often is a stupid idea. But anyways, so, all right, we're starting the match off. LA Knight throwing Ray into the corner and shoulder tackles, repeated shoulder tackles. They are paying him a lot of money, but he's not going to be there every week. Like, they're talking about the fact that right now Knight's just kind of beaten, wearing down. He's nothing big. But so they made a good point. The only two men in this match who have ever competed in a ladder match in WWE are Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura. So you would think that I wouldn't mind either one of those Steven Chambers. I think that LA Knight or Damian Priest will be a better pick than Logan Paul. And not because I hate Logan Paul, although there is that. But the big reason I think is because of the fact that it's like but he's not going to be there every week. Let's see. All right, let's see. Where are we? Rey Mysterio doing that tilt-a-scissor head swirl thing, whatever, that drives Savage crazy. He hates that stuff. Corner, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Richard and Gracia. And sorry if I said that right. It might be wrong. That might be Ingracio or whatever. But no, I agree with you completely. Nobody wants to see that. Uh-oh. What happened there? Rey Mysterio went for the 619, and LA Knight got kind of hung up in the ropes, but he did end up hitting it. But that was, you could tell LA Knight was kind of caught in the ropes. He was kind of like you couldn't tell if he was slipping on it or what. But all right, let's see. Goes for that sliding frog splash, I guess. I don't really even know what to call that. It's where he literally slides out of the ring underneath that ring, and then also does a frog splash. Really? Shotzi versus Bayley tonight is for Bayley's spot in the Money in the Bank match? Okay, that seems kind of weird, because, I mean, I guess I kind of see it, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I think the women's... I think that the women's Money in the Bank match is set up almost perfectly the way it is. By the way, not that I'm the guy to give y'all movie advice. I'm not saying that I know everything. But for those of y'all who care, supposedly, because they're showing a commercial for it right now, supposedly the new Indiana Jones movie is absolutely terrible. Just bad, supposedly. It's a commercial break, so I'm just focusing a little bit on my I'm just also playing my WWE game while it's a commercial break. At some point, I'll show y'all my character one of these days. 2 hours and 22 minutes for the new Indiana Jones. I'm surprised there's 2 hours and 22 minutes worth of Harrison Ford doing stunts. Like, look, I love Harrison Ford. I respect Harrison Ford. He's had a great career, but at 80 years old, doing an Indiana Jones movie does not seem like the best career decision. I mean, I'm sure it'll make money just because it's Indiana Jones, but, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good. But yeah, I was shocked the other day when I found out that Harrison Ford was in his 80s and still trying to do his own stunts. I'm like, at 80 years old, you need to kind of stop trying to do your own stunts, dude. You're going to end up getting hurt really bad. Yeah, I've heard that same thing too, Steven Chambers, that they're supposedly going to reboot it. Who do you think would be a good job to reboot it as? I'm actually going to pitch one here, and y'all guys can tell me what you think. What do you think of it being about a younger Indiana Jones, not super young, but younger, and it being played by Stephen Amell, the guy who played Green Arrow? What do y'all think of that idea? All right, we're back. LA Knight took control. Cover 1, 2, kick out. Control the matchup. Brendan Fraser. I think Brendan Fraser's a little too old for Indiana Jones. I like him, but I think they need to go for someone a little bit more this generation. Sinton, Ray, springboard off the middle rope. 1, 2, kick out. You know, I'm always impressed that Ray is still as good as he is in the ring because he's not a young man anymore, guys. And Jericho has said before that he thinks that being a high flyer is particularly rough on you. L.A. Knight, yeah. And then that big elbow drop he does. 1, 2, kick out. Woo. Yeah. Knight, and that is actually true. Knight was told for years, you got to get a real job. You're never going to make it in this. And I would say that LA Knight proved everybody wrong. LA Knight's been, he was a 1, 2 kick out from LA Knight. LA Knight was told, you're never going to make it in this business. He had a great run as Eli Drake in Impact, and he's having a decent run as LA Knight. He was great in NXT as LA Knight. WWE main roster, they haven't really fully decided what they're doing with him yet, so they haven't really capitalized. Pop-up Enziguri, or step-up Enziguri stuns Knight. Rey Mysterio going for another 619, but LA Knight catches him, lifts him up on his shoulders. Didn't work. Mysterio gets out the back door, runs. Oh, Knight caught him. Knight caught him. Rey Mysterio flips behind. BFT! 1, 2, 3. LA Knight, your winner over the legend Rey Mysterio. LA Knight. Yeah. He did it. He did it. He won. He beat Rey Mysterio. And look, I love Rey, but this was absolutely the right outcome. I think that LA Knight is a rising star. I think that Rey Mysterio is a legend, but I think that it works better with LA Knight getting the victory. And as LA Knight gets his victory, I got my victory on my 2K23. So I am now the Intercontinental Champion. LA Knight outrushes Escobar, tries to attack LA Knight. LA Knight doesn't look impressed by Escobar, which he shouldn't, because, I mean, honestly, Escobar thus far has been... What has it even been? Do we call this a valet, or what has Escobar been so far? A lackey? But anyways. Well, here's a question about for y'all. Oh, we get Solo Sikoa walking with Paul Heyman, and they run into in the back. Who is that? Who was that? I mean, Solo Sikoa just absolutely spiked that dude, but I'm not sure even who he was. Anyways. So what do y'all guys think? Y'all agree? LA Knight getting the win, the right decision? Let me rephrase that. LA Knight getting the win over the legend Rey Mysterio. No, absolutely not. But it did make me it did make me laugh, because it reminded me of when the All Our Truth promo where he was like, and yeah, you may be a big boy, but Paul Heyman, I will send you flying over that top rope. And you can just see Brock Lesnar can't even take it anymore. He just dies laughing. It was one of the few times Brock has really broken character and just kind of been like, dude, that was funny. And it was like, oh, look, yay, we're getting a commercial for Spooky Wookie crap. Insidious, The Red Door. I am not a fan of this paranormal, spooky, wooky crap that just doesn't do it for me. But what about you guys? Anyone find that entertaining or not really? Like, to me, that's not a horror movie. Horror movies were guys in a hockey mask or with razors on their fingers, like, just being like, I'm gonna kill these teenagers. That was horror movie. All this spooky, whoopy, paranormal, demon possession, that crap doesn't work for me. But what do y'all think? Anybody like that stuff in this chat, or is it just kind of like, no, you're the same, it's just crap? By the way, for those of y'all who are gamers and like wrestling, I actually highly recommend both the WWE 2K23 video game. Its career mode was actually really good. And I'm interested to see how the career mode in AEW Fight Forever is going to be. I'm not expecting the next big, like, breakout story. I'm not expecting this to be Hogwarts Legacy or Jedi Survivor, but I think it could have a good story. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't know they were doing a Ken and Barbie movie, but whatever. I mean,
huge improvement. Okay, but doesn't the name sound too much like the Rock? Do you mind?
Sorry.
We have a proven track record with this sort of thing.
And also sorry about the yawn, guys. I've been up since like 4 this morning, so yeah.
Corporate requires me to say and do a lot of things, but that's not one of them. I don't know.
Commercials are terrible. Oh, hold on, guys. Hey guys, so you're gonna maybe not be happy about this, but stream might actually be ending earlier than originally thought. I've got family here, and they just texted me and said, "Hey, we want you to go with us and do this." And look, I love being here, guys. I absolutely do, but family kind of comes first, especially since they're about to be leaving to go back out of town. So I hope all of y'all enjoy the rest of SmackDown. I really do. But I actually have to go. So I'm going to play the outro, and then I'm probably going to be done. So y'all guys, y'all enjoy.
Nice different.
Pedigree, 1, 2, 3, proud to you live as a champ. A last ride straight to hell, a tombstone, a choke slam. Here to give it to you raw. This is Wrestling with Savage. Smackdown, hold the title. This is Wrestling with Savage. What?
Wrestling with Savage begins now.